What's going on, everybody? How you doing? All right, it's over, and the amps are back. And I thought I'd do like an aftermath video, explain some things and show you some things, and using this video right here kind of as a guide, a jumping off point for commentary, all that kind of thing, right? For me, I was down in South Florida. I think we had not even maybe 60-mile-an-hour gusts. That was like the worst of it. When I said it was over in the videos that I had already posted, like it was mostly over, and then we went in the pool and wasn't a big deal. Again, very little rain, but actually well after that, like more like 11 p.m. until around 2 a.m., the wind picked up, which I was really surprised about. I was not expecting the wind to pick up just out of nowhere. But again, it wasn't that big a deal. It was nothing. The house I was staying at was totally fine. Nothing happened. And then the next morning, I drove home. House is fine. It's like nothing happened. Some branches on the ground, literally nothing happened. I had a neighbor a couple of houses down whose roof got a bit jacked, but it was because it was installed improperly. It's a brand new build house. Roof, it shouldn't have been. It is insane. This house that I'm in is older than his by decades, and it's totally fine. And his is a brand new house. I was just shocked. Yeah, he said that I guess there's some kind of like barrier that's like some peel and stick that's supposed to go down. Whoever installed it didn't peel. Something stupid like that. I don't know. I'm not a roofer, but that's what he was saying. And that's actually how it looked also. Look, I was just like, wow, crazy. So anyways, we're going to check out this video. This is Ben Greco. Greco? Ben Greco. Sorry, Ben. I don't know how to say your name. You look at my last name. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, he's in Southwest Florida talking about it. So again, this is a jumping off point. Let's get into it and talk about how this looks. There's certainly areas that got it worse. There's areas that I expected to be bad because my whole thing was surge. Because where this storm went was actually where they projected Ian to go 2 years ago before they shifted it down, and I all of a sudden got the eye wall. So during Ian, my biggest thing was, this is before it moved. My biggest thing was, we're going to get flooded. We're going to get storm surge. We're going to get flooded. This is going to be catastrophic. This is going to be really, really, really bad. We got the eye wall. We didn't get the surge. Surge is anything from the bottom of the eye wall, the southern part of the eye wall, and down like 20, 30 miles or whatever. It goes down the whole entire coast, but, the worst of it is right there. The further away you are from the eye, the less feet surge you get. Anyways, mostly to me from this storm, it was a lot of hype and over preparation. I think because I feel like they underprepared for Helene. So I could just tell that they were over preparing for this, which is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that the surge numbers were lower than the catastrophic, what they were talking, it was just all lower. It wasn't a big deal. I came back, the majority of all my neighbors stayed, and I talked with a bunch of them, and they said we got maybe 70-mile-an-hour gusts, which is not that much different than where I was, which was an hour south. So whatever. All right, let's check out this video.
Guys, I've been all over Punta Gorda today, and it is hard to describe the destruction that has happened here. You can see these two boats sitting in Gilchrist Park. You might have seen them this morning on my live stream when I walked through here in real time. It's just, there's boats everywhere. There's boats in people's yards. There's boats in people's houses. It's all over the place. Everything community. On the first couple of blocks here on Gilchrist is pretty much decimated. Just terrible. Terrible things I'm seeing. So I went around today to kind of give everybody an update. This probably won't get posted till later tonight. There's the anchor, by the way.
Now, if this were Ian, all the green on the trees would be gone. Ian was so much worse. And again, that's for us down here compared to how it is in St. Pete or some of those areas up there. it may look that bad up there. It may look that bad up there, but here, when after Ian hit, all the green on the trees were gone. It was like winter, which is free. It was freaky. It really was. It was pretty freaky.
There's the anchor. It was originally in the water, and someone came by and pulled it out because it was the only thing holding the boat there, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to share some of this stuff with you guys. Again, I don't know when I'll get this out, but it's just it's been absolutely insane here. Approaching the.
So here's the thing. Before I get into this clip, here's a map, right? So it went right over Siesta Key, right? So this is the way that it went, more or less, went this way. And then the storm surge was like Venice probably got whacked. Englewood probably got whacked. And then into the harbor, there's these barrier islands. So Ian went this way. It went across this island right here. And it went up this way. This went this way. All the surge came down here. So where this guy is down here in Punta Gorda. All of this, you can see all the canals right here. All this is all zone A, evac zone. Like all of this is going to flood out because as you can see, it's mostly water. All going to flood. Everything downtown is going to flood. That's just, it's a given. Like, you know that that's what it is. Same thing with here, right? I mean, look at the name of this road, Edgewater, Harbor View. That should tell you something. You're going to get water. That's just an always thing. So where this guy is over here. He's at Gilchrist Park. That's this. You're right on the water. So, of course, the water goes up 8 feet. I don't know what the official numbers are, how much we actually got. I'm going to guess 8 feet. I saw Jim Cantori say 8 feet. His guess was 8 feet when he was in Punta Gorda Isles, which this is Punta Gorda Isles. So the water goes up 8 feet and it floods the entirety of downtown, right? All these are probably flooded. I drove through here already and it's sludge fest. Just tons of sludge. Honestly, I'm sure it's probably a lot cleaned up by now because they do a good job. They really do. I mean, I gotta say, Florida knows how to handle hurricanes. They just do. They just do because they live with it. It's like that's their disaster that they have to live with because it's just part of it. It's like some areas they just live with flooding. They know that flooding happens. Other areas they know that they get hit with tornadoes, so they have steps and processes in place to handle it. It's what it is. So he was right there. That's where those boats are. There's all boats all in the harbor, all in the Peace River, right? All these boats are just in here. There's marinas and all this stuff. So, of course, boats are going to be all in here. All these people have docks in their backyard. They got boats. They got sailboats. They got power boats. They got all kinds of boats. They're going to go in everybody's yards. That's just, to me, that's not a shock. There's nothing shocking about that. It's like, yeah, how long have you been here? Type of thing. This is your first time, huh? Right? So same thing with all in this. So where he is right here, this is very interesting. And this is not normal. There's a reason for it. He is on 41 right in this area. Right? So all the water got pushed all up into here. Again, this whole area, all water. All of this gets water. Hello, Edgewater. All of it gets water. The water pushes up, right? When the surge comes, it pushes up into here and then it goes up the Peace River. It goes up the Myakka River, right? And they swell up and it pushes up into here. The flood zone for here goes all the way up past this circle right here, which is wild to me. I'm like, wow, water could potentially get up here. How big of a surge would that be? Like, what would it have to be for that? Like 25 feet, 30 feet surge? I don't think that's happened. I don't know, but that's pretty wild. So, and Jim Cantori was here. If you were on Weather Channel watching, he was at the Sunseeker Resort, which is right here. This brand new resort right here. So this clip right here, he's driving right here. And all this debris that you're about to see, that's all along here. I know because I saw it too. I drove it. I was like, wow. It was all by the time I got to it, which was later on in the day. He went in the morning. Later on in the day, all of it was gone. It was all I mean, it wasn't like gone. It was pushed off the road. So the road was clear. It was just on the side of the road. But what it was we just got Hurricane Helene a week earlier. And all of the houses, all in here, put all their stuff. Because if your house floods, you got to cut out the drywall. You got to get rid of all your furniture. You got to get rid of everything, whatever the water touches. Because it's like toxic. It's bad. It's storm water. It could have all kinds of, there are people that still have wells and septic and all kinds, you get my point, right? You got to get rid of it. So it was all out on the curb, and the city and the county knew that this storm was coming, knew that we just had a storm, and I think probably did their best. They canceled all garbage pickup for the week and just focused on picking up Hurricane Helene trash, basically. They did not get to everything. Totally did not. But I mean, we saw them the day of picking up trash. Still, they couldn't get to everything. Right? It's just too much. So when the storm surge came on, it pushed all of that trash from this neighborhood. The water just picked it up and shoved it to wherever the water line ended, which was 41. This major road right here. That's what this is. Isn't that crazy?
Bridge, you guys can see where the water came up here down by the harbor.
That's wild.
I hope we're gonna make it through this. The debris is pretty bad. I think
and that's what it is.
Come out and cleared.
It's all the stuff.
Some of this
that was out
an indication of what Punta Gorda is going to look like.
It looks crazy, right? It's wild. It's wild. It's just people's furniture, people's yard stuff, chairs, mattresses. And again, you see, he's right on the water. So, of course, if you're right on the water, you're going to get wrecked. Like you are. You're going to get wrecked. He's over here. He's right over here right now. Right? Peace River is right there. It's total, in my opinion, it's totally believable.
In Gilchrist Park.
It's very believable. Ian was worse, my opinion.
Oh my gosh.
All these down here, this is all like historic downtown. There are all these really old buildings, very nice also, that have obviously survived decades, century even. But this is what they have to go through in order. And they're also super expensive because it's historic downtown. It's expensive to live down there, right? Like for the area, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, this is so much worse than I thought it was going to be. This car was here yesterday, guys.
I don't think it was...
got moved back several feet. When I left, this car was up against that curb.
I mean, that is crazy, but it's not as bad as, in my opinion, it's just not as bad as Ian. Ian was devastating. This is, I mean, it's bad, but, So that, somebody already knocked out the drywall for that. Yeah. All that concrete just thrown from the water. I mean, it's pretty wild. It is. Okay. Yeah. So, right? All this flooding still here. These houses are old houses. This is probably from the 60s. The other house that I was in previously, before this one, was a house like this. 60s, low-lying areas often. Depending on the area, right? Depends on the area. But this is obviously a low-lying area. It's probably a VAC zone A, right? In a flood zone, I'm sure. Right? Like, if you're like looking to get a house down here or anything like that, you need to know these things and be ready for it. It's just what it is. And again, he's doing this in the morning. This is the next morning. So this is what? When did it end? High tide was like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. And I think the surge stopped maybe around 2 or 3 or something. You know, it stopped in the middle of the night. So there's still obviously water out there. By the end of the day, there probably wasn't as much water at all. But this is like a low-lying area.
Some of these scenes, like this boat behind me, are absolutely insane.
He's in the same park.
He's in the middle of the pavilion.
Yep, same park, right? The water's right there. Again, if this were Ian, those palm fronds would be gone. Gone. There'd be like one palm frond on all of those.
Oh my God.
The sludge over there isn't even that bad.
Destroyed.
I mean, the guy's still standing, right? I'm not trying to minimize this. It is. Look at all these boats. Again, in that river, there's all these sailboats that are just in the river, you know, on the regular. Now they're over there. They're in the pickleball court, of course. See, some sailboats made it. I think he's in Punta Gorda Isles right here, I think. Or Aquiesta type area. Another low-lying area that will flood. Every time they'll flood. Every time. Right? That's that downtown area. He's still right next to... He's walking in the same park. All in here. All this. He's still just walking this, basically. So again, it like... Waterfront, you're gonna get hit. Like, you're going to. Yeah. But look at these guys' roofs. It's a metal roof. Metal roof is always the way to go, in my opinion.
Man,
after
the door came off.
being through it, that's an old house. That's an old house. That's even an old metal roof. Still holding up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's a cleanup for sure. Again, all of this is just because they just got flooded, took all their stuff, put it outside on the curb to get picked up. Palm tree down. The fact that there's not more palm trees down and the trees still have green on them. I mean, just after being through Ian, that just really gives me a perspective. Again, I'm not saying this isn't bad. It's just interesting how every storm is different, they say, right? Every storm is different. Because all of the variables are different. They all change. Like, my neighborhood looks nothing like this. Nothing. I'm not in a low-lying area. I'm not right next to the water. Not that close, at least. Whew. Yeah, all that debris. Yeah, that's like the biggest part of it. If there wasn't already the debris from Hurricane Helene that was left there and not picked up, because there just wasn't enough time and manpower to do it, and probably vehicles to do it, it wouldn't look as gnarly. I mean, it would still be bad, but just all that extra trash everywhere makes it look really like, wait a minute, that was in somebody's house, and then it just like is in the street. It's like, no, it was in the street, and then it just got sent everywhere out in the street. It already was in the street. Ooh, those steps. Oh boy. See, that's what I'm talking about. This house on stilts, that's what you need. You need it like Key West style, right? Like newer Key West houses. You need a house on, if you're gonna be like live here in the water, like on the water like this, you need a stilt house. I don't know how high they put them up. 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet, as high as you can get it. 15 feet sounds good to me. That's what I think. Because, you know, they talk 15 feet surge, 18 feet, you know? Yeah, that's what you need. And then just your car is down there. And they make, obviously, this is a massive house. They make smaller houses that are on stilts still. There are even companies down here that will raise your house, right? If you have one of these old mid-century houses or older, they'll raise your house. Now, I don't think you could do that for downtown because downtown is a historic area, so there's restrictions on that. But if you're not there, if you're in some other area, there's obviously tons of areas down here that are on the water. Because I mean, half of being a Floridian and being in down here is living on the water, right? That's so much of it. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how strong that was and how much of a thing that was. I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't really feel that until I got on a boat myself out here, and I was like, "Oh wow, now it's real." Now it's like, "Yep, mm-hmm." And then you're like, "Now I want a boat." I mean, it's gorgeous. It's just incredible, right? It's one of the major perks of it. And again, don't forget, every single day in Florida is nice except Hurricane Day, right? That's what it is. The next day, it was sunny. It was nice out. It was. After all this business, it got sunny out, right? You could see the clouds breaking up. And he's doing this in the morning.
See you later, Jim Cantori.
Oh, yeah, he just left. Yeah, he was in that neighborhood around there. That's wild how it's just like sitting like that. Almost like it's on purpose. Like it was put there on purpose. Somehow. In Fort Myers, there's still boats that are underwater from Ian. This is downtown Punta Gorda. Yeah, you see the sludge? You see the sludge? It was gnarly. I was like, wow, it's like cake. It's really bad. It's like, it's different. I mean, I remember living in Boston and in New Jersey, you know, like after it snows and it's like slush, you know, that like slushy stuff that gets pushed off to the side eventually because of the plows. It wasn't quite like that because obviously it's not ice, but it's like muck. Nasty. All the lights are out. You need to treat everything like a four-way stop, right? Yeah, I mean, all these businesses are gonna flood out. That's what it is living there. These low-lying areas. This is why you need to know what zone you're in, evacuation zone, and what your flood zone is. A Fiesta, that's an area that gets flooded. Yeah. Older houses, low-lying areas. But he's probably, I wonder, going into PGI. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, yep.
All right, guys, now I made my way into Port Charlotte. This is the Port Charlotte Beach Park with the public pool. Damn.
Yeah.
Port Charlotte Pier right here.
You're right on the water. It's jacked.
It's going to be out of commission for a while.
Oh, yeah. All the piers for fishing are all jacked, like all around here. There's like no more fishing spots, you know, from land like this. They're all just jacked. Because a bunch of them got jacked from Helene, and
So
now
you
even
can
more
see
got jacked.
How high up this water came. I mean, it just tore this apart.
Wish you could see a water line from there. They already. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the storm did it.
It's crazy. And now,
but yeah, you're
just
right on the
12
water.
hours later, it's calm.
And it's sunny. Told you. Every day's nice. Except Hurricane Day.
A lot of these places just look like war zones.
So he's here. He's here. Yeah, probably here. He's on 41. That is pretty wild to see. And that the water came up that far. It went all the way to 41.
Wow.
Yeah, don't walk on that. Yeah. Port Charlotte beach area. Port Charlotte does not really have a beach. It's not like a real beach. If you want a real beach, you go to like Venice, which I'm sure looks completely different now. Because they got it worse. They got storm surge way worse. I'm sure. Casperson Beach probably looks not the same. There it is. Cool. So I just thought that'd be interesting to kind of look and show you exactly where he was, where things were, just to give some insight of all of this. I mean, all of this entire area, like all of it, all of this, it's all flood zone, and it's all going to flood. So of course you're going to get sites like that. Like, of course you're going to. Downtown Punta Gorda will flood in a really bad rainstorm. I mean, just the week prior, there was areas up here that were flooding just from rain. And it was part of why I was saying in those previous videos that the thing that concerns me is the amount of how much water is in the ground already. And I was walking around my yard getting the house ready for a hurricane, and it's just squish, 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 walking around the yard. I'm like, where's the water going to go? It's not going to get absorbed. It's just going to sit there, and it's going to rise. Yeah, a lot of water everywhere. All this all flooded, right? I mean, I think Englewood got really whacked. Minnesota Key, I've heard, just whacked. Not good. Downtown, Englewood, Dearborn, all this area, just whacked. So up here, Siesta Key, this is where it went through. Went through this, right through here. Everything south got the surge. I haven't seen any videos or stuff from Venice. I haven't like specifically looked, but I would have thought I would have seen it somewhere. Haven't yet. You know, once the storm hits, cell service is really spotty, like really spotty. So that was a little bit tough dealing with that. But I mean, it's again, what I've had to deal with for this one is nothing compared to Ian for me, or compared to just other people. And Ian, frankly, we got lucky. It could have been intensely worse, like intensely worse. Yeah, I mean, even compared to my direct next door neighbor, her house got jacked, and ours was like practically completely fine compared to hers. It's all these different variables and factors. It's like where your house is, which direction the wind is coming from. And then when you're on the backside of the storm, the wind comes from the opposite direction. And where you in the eye wall? Are you in the eye? Are you on the dirty side? Are you on the north side? Where are you? And also the approach of the storm. Like this storm was coming a little bit more. I mean, it was up at an angle, but it was a little bit more perpendicular. Most of the time, storms don't come from where they came from, where this storm came from. Most of them come from the Caribbean and they come up. But this one came across the Yucatan Peninsula, like across Mexico, and then almost perpendicular practically. So, I mean, I know that like kind of whipped over, like whipped around or whatever, but just point being a very different type of approach, and all that's going to affect. This is among the reasons why no two storms are the same. All of it affects it, right? And the whole cold front that came in. I mean, we lost power. So we lost power. I saw that in the neighborhood we lost power sometime in the middle of the night. I guess it would have been like super early Thursday morning, right? Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I think it was sometime in the middle of the night. I came back Thursday and we didn't have power. And I have a generator. I have not used it yet. It's new to me. I had turned it on previously, but I could not get the freaking thing going. I couldn't. I think now that I did get it going, I think I know what happened. I think I flooded the engine and it just wouldn't start. And then the battery was just dying because I just kept on trying to start it. And then I tried it the next day. So Friday, I tried it again in the morning and it turned right on. I'm like, the heck was that about? Why didn't it turn on the other day? So, and then like an hour before I had to go to a gig, the power turned on. So what was it? A little over 24 hours, 36 hours maybe. Didn't have power. They were definitely get for Ian. I think we didn't have power for like 5 days, and we got this little like kerosene, a camping stove, and we were able to make coffee that way. And it was really cool out. Like it's almost like fall weather right now, or at least it was yesterday. So it was like really actually nice to have all the windows open in the house. So again, we lucked out. We have a roof still. We have windows still to open and shut. So again, it's all that's what it is. I thought this would be interesting. That's the aftermath for down here, this area. And this is what, 30 miles or so. I don't know. Is there a measurement? How do I measure? So I mean, this is not perfect, but this is 51, 52 miles away. Right? It's not perfect because I'm looking for like kind of a line down here. So that's how many miles away it is from where the eye hit, where the landfall was. For this storm, how you saw it, the bottom half of the storm was just chopped off because of the wind shear, right? We talked about that and you saw it on the news and all that. And all up here, as you can see from all this, got all the worst of it. All the worst wind, no letting up on the wind for hours, hours, hours. So last time when Ian hit and it came through, landfall was Costa, right? It went up this way, basically went up this way, which is almost identical to where Charlie in 2004 went up this way, right? And Punta Gorda got decimated during Charlie, and then it got rebuilt. And Punta Gorda is nice, frankly, because of that, because so much got rebuilt. It's new, it's newer. A lot was newer. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that it went this way, and this area of Port Charlotte was not in the eye. The eye was like somewhere, I mean, it's hard to know exactly, but let's say the eye was all over this. And all here, they got the eye wall the entire time. So there's areas in here that are still super messed up from Ian because they just got wind for hours and Ian was really slow. Like it moved. That was like a practically damn near, it felt like a 24-hour storm. Like it was just sitting over this whole entire area for like 12 hours. That's what it felt like. I wasn't there for it. I was waiting outside the area. I was waiting in the same place that I was this time, right at a relative's house that lives in a different town, and just thinking about our house and it being our first major storm, right? Our first major, just so bad. These guys, I knew people who had houses here who lived here, right? People that I played with who, their houses had more damage, right? And some of these neighborhoods just got just slaughtered, fully slaughtered, like really, really gnarly. Like houses are just roofs are gone, like fully gone. Like I'm talking about, you just see the cinder block walls. That's it. There's no roof. There's no roof. There's still houses like that. Not like a ton. I'm not saying it's, everywhere like that, but eek. Anyways, there you go. That's the update. We're all good here. The amps are back. We're all good here. Cool. All right. I don't know what I'm gonna do next video wise. I haven't really decided. So I'm just gonna kind of take it day by day. All right. There you go. All right. Thank you guys. I'll catch you next video.